Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when and where you're viewing this. Hey, everybody, my name is Mike. I am the Crypto Liberal. Thanks for joining me again today. So, how is it working out, right? How are you following all these crypto Twitter people, crypto YouTubers who were telling you last week at this time, at this very moment, that we were going up, that we were going to 30,000, 35,000, 40,000? Or did you listen to other people? Did you follow other people who gave you an accurate analysis of where the market was headed? I've been telling you for months at this point that we have a red line of resistance above us, a downward sloping red line of resistance. It will be tough as nails to pass that resistance, and the path of least resistance is lower. In fact, 1 week ago, after 4, 5, 6 days of going up on Bitcoin, 1 week ago today, at this very moment, when everybody else, literally everybody else, was telling you we're going to 30,000, 35,000, 40,000, maybe all-time highs, right? I told you we were due for another dump. And what's happened since then? We're dumping. We're dumping. In fact, let's look at the video from 1 week ago today. 1 week ago. This is what I said. Watch.
Happens. But that's what I'm expecting for Bitcoin. Now, what am I expecting in the immediate short term? That red line is strong support. I do not think the worst of this bear market is over. I just don't. And so I think we're due for another dump of some sort before we get above that red line. Before we can get above this red line, right? Before we get above here, I'm expecting another dump of some sort. How low will that dump go? I have no clue. Will we go below the blue line? If I had to make a guess, I would say we're due to go below the lows of this bear market so far. Between 17.5 and 18.9. I think we're going to go below that. Still, I could be wrong. And that would be the second time I'm wrong in this channel. Big deal, right? Big deal, because I got a game plan of when I will enter Bitcoin again. Because frankly, I'm not in it. I have like a few sats floating around in various places. Because I've entered trades into ADA, into Ethereum, and into a few other alts that we'll talk about again in the future, but primarily ADA and Ethereum. And I'm killing it. We made 50% on our Ethereum trade on this channel. We documented it. 50% versus Bitcoin, right? And so we crushed it. And we're still we're like over 30% versus Bitcoin on our ADA trade. And we're still holding it because we're expecting a 3x. So if you appreciate every single time we get a victory on this channel, do me a favor, give me a like, give me a subscribe. That's all I have for you today. Let's keep track of this, because I'm still not convinced the worst of this bear market is over. I still think there's more punishment to be doled out. We'll see. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. But I hope you appreciate the message. I'm in the past few days, I've seen so many on crypto Twitter and crypto YouTube. Just because we had one good day, that day we went up like 10% on Bitcoin, they're all talking about going to 35,000 again. I mean, where do they get this from? Nobody on crypto Twitter or crypto YouTube is telling you about this resistance line. It goes back 2 years. I just showed you. Why do they think it's going to break so easily? I don't know. And I'm not saying it's not going to break. It will break eventually. Eventually we'll get above that red line. Maybe it happens this week. I just don't think it's going to be that easy. And if we do break above it, wait for confirmation. Wait for it to come back down in a month or two, and you'll get in at a lower price than when we initially break it. That's my game plan. We'll see if it happens.
So, how's that working? Right? How is that working? Ever since I made that video, I think we went up maybe one more day, maybe two, and we've been going down ever since. I told you the path of least resistance is lower, and that we were looking for prices between 18.9, where our candle closed, right? That's the lows of the summer, 18.9 approximately, right around there. Or where it wicked down to, which was 17.5 approximately, right? That's our lows of the summer. So I'm looking for prices down there again. And we're close. I think we're at 19.4 now. I mean, pretty much, you can say I nailed it because we were at 22 when I made that video. I mean, let's look at the chart. Let's look at the chart, right? I made that video on this day right here, right? It was September 11th, last Sunday. Like I said, we went up one more day, and then we crashed. Exactly like I told you was going to happen. And we've been going down ever since. And like I said, we're at 19.4. 19.4. And look at what happened. I've been telling you, see this upper red line, the downsloping red line. I've been telling you since I started making videos 20 weeks ago. This is like my 20th week making videos. Back here, before we even hit this red line, I told you about the importance of this red line. And I said, when it was back here, I said it would hold as support, and it did, until Terra Luna, right? And all the bankruptcies that have resulted, Voyager and Celsius, etc. And ever since we've been below it, I told you it's going to be strong resistance. Look, we were below it for, a month or two? We came up, got rejected on it perfectly. Who else is telling you about this red line? Nobody. We got rejected off of it perfectly. And then what happened last week? I told you again, that resistance line, that red line is strong. It's stronger than anything else we're facing right now. And what happened? We wicked up to it, basically that same exact red line, and we got rejected. I've been telling you about that red line for months at this point, and it's not made up, right? Look at this. Look at this red line. Follow this middle red line now, the middle red line here. Look at it. Support, when I started making videos back here, support right here, right? This is not made up. Support right there. Look at it. Resistance right here from last summer. Look at this. Support. And you can even call this support. Resistance back here. So this line goes back almost 2 years. Are you surprised? Is anybody surprised? How come nobody else on crypto Twitter, how come nobody else on crypto YouTube is talking about that red line? Now I have other red lines on here, right? I've just drawn them in the past couple days because I'm starting to plan for the turnaround. I'm starting to plan for the turnaround. It's coming. It might be 6 months away, but it's coming. So we'll talk about these other red lines on the channel in the future and what they mean to me. None of this is financial advice, but if you want to follow my journey, right, I've nailed it on this channel since I started it 20 weeks ago. I think I got one thing wrong. Literally, go back and watch every single video. I think I got one thing wrong. I thought that support line would hold because it was strong support going back 2 years. It didn't, and ever since we've been below it, I told you it's going to be, that's our battle, that red line. And we talk about it every day on this channel. Every day I make a video, right? So if you appreciate that, give me a like, give me a subscribe. Please stop what you're doing. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, because we're nailing it. Nobody else on crypto Twitter, nobody else on crypto YouTube has told you about that red line. I haven't seen one other person talk about that red line. And it serves as resistance perfectly. It's served as resistance perfectly. And we've talked about what we need to see on Bitcoin before we get bullish again. And we're not even close to it happening. And I told you last week, a week ago at this time, that red line would serve as resistance again. And it did. Perfectly. Do me a favor. Give me a like. Give me a subscribe. So, today, every Sunday, right? Well, let's go to the chart real quick, because what I'm looking for right now, just in the immediate future, is maybe to see if it comes back down and tests this blue line at, like I said, 18.9 approximately, right? 18.850. Well, it's 18.9 is where the blue line is. But again, you got to look at these as ranges. I think the real test might be, I would not be surprised if we come down to this red line. And if we do, we'll talk about why that's important. Why that's important, because I think that might be very important. It's an upsloping red line, and we haven't talked about it on this channel yet because hasn't really come into play yet. But we'll see if we can get down there. If we get down there, we'll talk about it and what it means if we hold it or if we don't. So do me a favor, give me a like, give me a subscribe, follow this channel if you want those updates. If you want to hear what these lines mean to me, because we're nailing it on this channel. So the other thing Sunday represents on this channel, right? I've been telling you, I've been making videos for 20 weeks on this channel. I've been telling you since day one that any new money, you should be dollar cost averaging, right? This is the height of the bear market. Dollar cost averaging, you can't go wrong doing that. But if you're going to do it, here's my plan, right? Any new money put into Cardano today will outperform Ethereum and Bitcoin by the end of the year, this year, a year from now, and 5 years from now. That's I've been telling you that for 20 weeks daily. But I don't just tell you that and then disappear and then tell you disappear from the earth. And if my prediction comes true, I'll tout it. But if I'm wrong, I kind of conveniently forget about it. But like everybody else in crypto YouTube was telling you last week, we're going to 35,000. I told you we weren't. And so I prove it on this channel. I prove my hypothesis daily or weekly, really, by we put $100 into those 3 cryptos every week, $100 in every Sunday. And we track that portfolio. And how's it looking, right? We've done it for 19 weeks. Today will be the 20th week. We've done it for 19 weeks. How's it looking? Ethereum over Cardano over Bitcoin. How's it looking? Let's look. Let's look. Here's the portfolio. ADA is outperforming Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? We put $1,900 into each of them. They're all losing against the US dollar, but what's losing the least? ADA. ADA is outperforming Ethereum, and ADA and Ethereum are outperforming Bitcoin. And it's not even the end of the year yet. And I told you this was going to happen, right? I told you for 20 weeks now that ADA is going to outperform Ethereum and Bitcoin by the end of the year. And right now it is. Right now it is. Another thing we have nailed, right? I didn't tell you it was going to outperform, in 6 weeks. I told you by the end of the year. So we're going to continue to track it. And speaking of that, today is 20th week. We're going to put $100 into each of those cryptos. And we're going to add them to the portfolio. Follow me on Twitter at @crypto_liberal because I will update it there. I'll tell you what our $100 is getting us in ADA and Ethereum and in Bitcoin, right? But here's what we're going to do. We're going to go and purchase them right now. Or I'm going to tell you what we're buying it at. So we're going to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin at $19,479.16. $100 of Ethereum at $1,333.85, and $100 of Cardano at 0.4506 cents. Okay, follow me on Twitter at @crypto_liberal, and I'll tell you exactly what we're buying with that $100, and we'll track it. And I'm still convinced by the end of the year, ADA will outperform Ethereum, and both of those will outperform Bitcoin. We'll see. I'll prove it. I prove it. Ask your favorite crypto YouTuber. Ask your favorite crypto Twitter influencer if they prove what they're saying, right? Because there were dozens of people last week at this time telling you we're going to 35,000, and none of them ended up being right. Are they coming back and saying I was wrong? No. But I would tell you if I was wrong. I told you I was the one thing I got wrong, right? The one thing I got wrong on this channel in 20 weeks. So do me a favor, give me a like, give me a subscribe. So let's talk about Ethereum, because Ethereum's gotten beat up since the merge. But again, I called it. I called it. Let's look at what we watch on Ethereum. Okay, we beat Bitcoin to death here. It's ugly. But if you're new to my channel, right, we follow the ETH Bitcoin chart, okay, on Coinbase, and I follow the weekly chart. So let's rehash where we've been as my lines pop up here, right? I told you back here, literally at the bottom. Go back and watch a Sunday video from the week of June 6th. I told you I was moving out of Bitcoin and putting it into Ethereum, right? Right when we hit this red line, this upsloping red line, exactly at the bottom. I didn't tell you 2 weeks too early. I didn't tell you 2 weeks too late. I told you at the exact bottom when one Ethereum was worth about 0.052 Bitcoin, way down here. And I told you my target was this upper blue line, right? Go back and watch my videos. And that was about a 50% return. And when we got up to that blue line, I told you on Twitter and YouTube, I told you I was getting out of that trade. I was moving, the Ethereum I bought with my Bitcoin, I moved out and put it into a stable coin. I haven't put it into anything else yet. And that was I got out at 0.075. So right before we hit that blue line is where I got out, and I announced it on Twitter. I announced it on YouTube, and so that was like a 45% return for me. At that time, Bitcoin was going up, right? And that's how much more Ethereum went up over Bitcoin, meaning I got a 45% return over Bitcoin, even though at that point Bitcoin was going up, to prove to this channel that Ethereum would help perform Bitcoin. And it did, exactly like I said. Exactly, basically it hit the target. So I got out a little early. It went up over that blue line a little bit, but what's happening, right? Ever since the merge, it's coming back. And I always told you when we were floating around this blue line, above it, below it, above it, below it, right? I told you I'm waiting for Ethereum Bitcoin chart pairing, right, to come back down to this red line. You know, the rate is going. It might happen this week or next week, right? But somewhere in here, I'll get back into this trade when it comes back down to this red line, this upsloping red line, wherever that may be. That's my plan right now. I told you, right? So if you got in when I got in and you got out when I got out, you have a nice 45% return, and you got out above where we're at right now. You got out at 0.075, and right now it's at 0.068. Exactly. It's coming out exactly like I told you it was going to come out. So if you appreciate that, do me a favor, give me a like, give me a subscribe. So I'm not going to talk about the Ethereum trade today because, or I mean the ADA trade today, because if you've watched my channel, you're well familiar with it. ADA's holding its own. ADA's holding its own versus Bitcoin. You know, that trade, because that same night that we went from Bitcoin into Ethereum and that preceded our 50% return, we also got out of Bitcoin and put it into ADA, my number one trade. And that is still up. And actually, ADA is holding strong this week. You saw that big red candle for Ethereum, right? This week, this last week. Look at that big red candle. It's a weekly chart. That's a huge red candle. But you know what's green again Bitcoin this week? ADA. ADA is going to crush it. I'm sorry, Bitcoin maxis. I'm sorry you don't like that ADA is more decentralized than Bitcoin. I'm sorry you don't like that ADA it has much greater scalability than Bitcoin. I'm sorry that actually ADA has features that can be built atop it that improve people's lives. Bitcoin doesn't, right? ADA is going to crush Bitcoin by the end of the year, a year from now, 5 years from now. Well, let's watch and we'll prove it. So that's all I have for you today. You know, it's beautiful. Today, it's beautiful because this is what you want, right? Right now, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. Opportunity of a lifetime. If you're dollar cost averaging, look at today like a great opportunity. I mean, the markets are getting crushed today. I mean, Bitcoin's down 4% almost. ADA's down over 7%. Ethereum's down over 9%. Dollar cost averaging. That's what I mean. I get excited when I see this, right? Because I know it will turn around. And what you want to do is you want to position yourself, not financial advice, in the protocols that will turn around faster than all the others. That's why I'm choosing ADA over Ethereum and Bitcoin. That's why I choose ADA and Ethereum over Bitcoin. We'll see. We'll see, right? Follow this channel. Follow me. Give me a like. Give me a subscribe. Because, frankly, everything that we've talked about has come to fruition on this channel. Everything, except with one exception, in 20 weeks. That's all I have. Hope you're having a great weekend. Take advantage of these opportunities. That's all I have. My name is Mike. I am the Crypto Liberal. Ban the guns.